Okay, so Sean and I had a meeting yesterday, kind of came up with a rough idea for the demo, and it's very much an outline. And he designed a level 1. Hey, Jackie. How's it going? So this is the level 1 that Sean designed. This is what it looks like right now. It's got little grids on it, which makes it difficult to see, but you can see the general. What we have is mainly just the logic. So a full tile here means it's a solid. The player cannot go through it. And these smaller lines are one way, so the player can jump up through it, but then be stuck. So what I did is I exported out of tiled, made it a PDF, and then or as a PNG, and then I'll draw on top of it. And I got some I was looking up for reference art the other day, and is kind of just looking for, I'm thinking of like this organic, alien-looking structure. So this is going to be like a little city with houses. Like each of these are going to be in an interior, which reminds me, I need to ask Sean a question. Let me ping him. What I need to know is... Here he comes. All right. So my question is, for, these are the interior of houses, right? Mm-hmm. Well, is that going to be a different level? So, for example, like we just see the inside of their houses entirely when the character's walking around?
Yeah, that's what I was imagining. I have another layer on here too. It's useful.
Well, yeah, I just didn't want to get distracted by it. Mm. I mean, I got what you're going for, but then I was just thinking about it last night, and yeah, all right, I'll just think about it. I can see that happening. I can see that working.
We do have the front and the back, so you can have things that are in front of the player. Mm-hmm.
But it's not going to be like Commander Keen when they walk into the house. It's then just the house. It's the interior of the house.
Right. Agreed. It's just you can just get into it directly. You don't have to hit up or something.
Understand.
But I mean, we can change it. That's just what I proposed.
Okay. Well, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to kind of not right now anyway. Jackie says hi.
Hi, Jackie.
So I can show you what Sean kind of had a rough idea of too. Let me export this out so you can see it. Export as image. I need to put some music on too. So Sean drew like a rough idea of what he had in his head and what we discussed and how it would lay out. I'm trying to pull that image up now so you can see it. I should already had it. Actually, I got an easier way of doing it. Here, we'll just add tiled. Hello, Anurag and Mavi Shadow. Let me pull up. you tiled. There we go. All right, so this is tiled. So this is what we use to actually build the levels. I put the art into a tile sheet, which you can see over in this corner. Well, where's that? Over here. Those walking around sounds are Gator. It's been rainy here for the last couple of days, and so he is exercising himself, making laps around the living room. And Sergeant, what you're looking at is we are making a platformer for the GBA, and we're working on the demo right now. And what I'm doing is the art for kind of like the first level, the first space. And the two programs I have up right now are Tiled and Sprite. Sprite's what I actually draw in. And Tiled is what we place the art, well, it's how I guess how we actually put the art into the game is the best way of putting it. But I break the I break the art down into tiles, and we're doing 8x7 tiles, and those 8x7 tiles are then placed using Tiled. So looking at Tiled right here, this is what I have up. My husband drew the art that you see here, the black being solid spaces that the player cannot go. So this little red square that you see, this is a 8x7 tile. So that's an example of like the art that I would be placed there. So I'm drawing something and breaking it up into tiny little tiles. Yes, basically yes. My husband and I, we make games for the GBA, and this will be our second one. He does the programming and I do the art, and everything else we kind of mix together. Yeah. He drew just something quick, just to get the general idea. Like, we discussed it, and then, this is in his head how it would look. And then now I'm supposed to make it look better. So that being said, not so, actually, that reminds me, being game development, we actually just opened up or just started our Kickstarter. So we launched our last game on Kickstarter, and one of the feedbacks that we got was that they wish we would have shared the development process sooner. So whenever we launched our Kickstarter, our game was completely done, and they said they wanted to be involved in the process. So what we're doing this time is we're sharing everything from the get-go. So from brainstorming all the way through. And it's a little weird, but that's what we're doing, and that's what you're seeing right now. And I forgot to put it on the video description, but that's it there. If you're interested, it would help us out to click follow this or notify me when launched. Because, yeah, we need as many followers there as possible. But it's going to be a few months before we launch our demo, though, too. All right, so let me actually get some work done. I'm going to close out tiles so you can't see it, because that's not what I'm going to be working in. I'm going to keep it up so I can see it, though, just so I can reference it. I hid it from the view because I didn't want to be distracted by Sean's art and then find myself drawing over his lines. So I'm just going to create a new layer, I am. We've been together 8 years. The reason I'm doing this is because of him. I learned to do pixel art. He wanted to make a game. He's been coding for like ever. And I was like, let's make a game. I'll learn to do the art. So that's where we're at. And then last thing I need to pull up. This is the downside about these vertical streams. I can't show everything. But I've got some reference images just for inspiration, kind of for the look that I'm going for. And I can share them in our Discord, our Pocket Pulp Discord, if y'all want to. But it's just too much on the screen here. Oh, and then the last thing I was going to do before I get started was just to keep in mind, I'm going to add one more layer. Hi, Jose. I'm going to create oh god, I'm blanking. What is it? What's the 240 by 160, right? Yeah, GBA screen. 240 by 160. So I'm going to create a 240 by 160 square. Oh my god. And that'll help me keep the... I hear you, Hobo. Give me 1 second. This is not going to work. Go. All right, there we go. 240 by 160. Why are these numbers all messed up? .240 by 160. There we go. That's good enough. All right, so that will help me. I do not like that bug. Visualize what the player will see. So it's a 240 by 160 resolution on the screen. So as I'm making this art, I want to think about where the player is going to be standing and see how that's going to look to the player. So I guess where the character will be standing and how that will look to the player. And then the last thing is just adding in our little robot. There we go. I'm not gonna make it perfect, but that's how it'll kind of be. The player will always be in the middle. So we're asking to go outside, which I'm gonna do. Let him out. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. All right, so now that I got all that done, if I was creating software for games, for doing art, I would give an option to be able to like keep that square I made for the screen to see what the player's seeing, like always on the screen. So like every time I move, I would have that outline. And then I'm working in Grayscale because I always get distracted by colors. And so this is just to keep me focused on the substance, and then go back later and fill in the colors. So right now we don't have slopes created. So you can see I'm making these like stair-steppy look. You know, we don't have slopes, so the player actually does have to like kind of jump. So I want to keep these looking stair-steppy. If we had the ability to kind of, for the player to kind of just go up a slope, it would look different. But we may change that. Keep that different. Just imagine this is like some kind of abode, you know, some kind of home. Right now what I've got in my brain is ground. All right. I haven't seen the Gabriel Kid. I don't think I've streamed. God, I don't think I've streamed in a minute though. Or maybe I just don't. My last one wasn't good. I was working on enemies. Alright, so I'm thinking about like this organic kind of looking building. But I think it's actually going to be kind of like... I don't want to lose these platforms. I want to be able to fill this in at some point. So these, what I'm doing here, these are one ways, so little platforms that the player can jump on and jump through. And what I'm pictured in my head is that they would be, you know, this is like a tree-looking building. The idea is, you know, these creatures, they work with nature, so they grow their buildings. So I'm imagining these little platforms are going to kind of look like mushrooms growing on a tree that you can jump on. Oh, you are the Gabriel Kid. Ah, you just have a new name. I'm not really an adult. I just play one. I would say why they do that. Sometimes people just give excuses when they really should just say, I don't want to, and that should be enough. But instead, you know, they give a reason why they don't want to without just saying, I don't want to. But I don't know for sure. I don't know why the guy did that. So I recently signed up for an art class, like a traditional drawing class. And I'm hoping that one of the things it'll help me with is being able to make fluid motions that make sense with my arm. All right. Yeah, Gabriel, I have no idea, dude. I would ask that teacher. Oh, this is gonna be such a pain. This is the one downside of this. Oh no. After all that, I just drew right on the logic layer. Crapola. Alright, I gotta fix for this. People are confusing, I'll tell you that much. It's easier just not to try to figure them out. Everyone's gonna do their own thing, man. Sometimes they're gonna do things you don't understand. It's way better focusing on how to accept that. None of that worked. I was so excited it was gonna work, and it did not. Alright, well, I'm just drawing on this stupid thing now. I'm sorry that you're bored a lot, but it's not my responsibility to entertain you. You can watch me do art and talk to me about that? Ah, I wouldn't say I'm very good either. I didn't know anything about art when I started this. I started doing pixel art whenever we started Inky and the Alien Aquarium. That's when I started learning art. And I was pretty terrible when I've gotten better since. Still got like a long way to go from where I want to go, but it's practice, like anything else. Nobody starts good at something. And if they did, they probably did something that was similar to what they were doing. So they had a head start. That's how my husband is. But he still learns and does other things. That's how he did our music. It's okay to suck at something, you know what I mean? You don't have to be good at something to enjoy it. And I think having some kind of creative outlet's good. All right. Okay, well, I hope your day gets better. I'm sorry. Sounds like you're really frustrated over that person. I'm sorry. Okay. These are gonna have to be adjusted later. I'm trying not to focus too much on the tiles. Oh God, what kind of rabbit hole did you go down, Jackie? I'm afraid to ask in the way that you described it. Alrighty. Why'd you do that? Oh, I know why. Why is it continuous? The one that you were working with? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Worked that time. Why did he do that to his neighbors? People are odd. Where was this? What country? And what kind of meat was it? Oh, well, that makes a little more sense. Yeah, this sounds like the USA. It's like those videos people post a lot. Usually they're like rage click items. That's a lot of money. But they waste food and they cook some recipe in like a really obviously disgusting way. Like there was a thing where a lot of people were doing it like on their kitchen counters, mixing stuff all up on the kitchen counter. So, oh. I'm doing like really kind of just rough general idea right now. And then what I'll do is start cleaning it up, making it look more like something. But before I get too detailed, then I'll go back through and kind of check the tiles and try to actually make a tile set out of it, you know, being mindful of how many tiles I'm using. How did you find that? You found it through that website? Oh, yeah, exactly. It'll take way too many. I mean, like right now, I'm not even lining the platforms up right. So, because I'll come through and actually lay down the grid, 8x7 tile grid on everything. And then try to make things fit the grid. But I found that if I start with the grid, I get too obsessed and I ends up thinking more in a box. So it's kind of like bouncing back and forth. But yeah, you're 100% right. Right now, this shape, but I'll adjust it and change it so it'll actually be, especially with the 8x7 tiles, it may be easier than some of the other ones, but I'll be reusing the same curve for a lot. Right now it's all unique, but every freaking time, man. Oh. Do. Where's the gap? There it is. Oh. Are you talking about stumble upon? That's such a dangerous thing. Where the hell is the gap? There it is. Hi, Marco. We are making art for a Game Boy Advance game that my husband and I are making. Thanks, Jackie. Hi. Yeah, 100% pixel art. If you look on the video description, you can get a link to our itch page, and you can kind of see the well, you can't kind of see. You can see the games that we make. So we make retro games we'll make games for retro systems, GBA specifically, but we have made some Game Boy inspired games, but all pixel art, yeah, 2D pixel art. Every time. Why? Oh, that's why. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's a great question. But that's why when I had to make a change to the little robot when the character was too big, a friend of mine was like, why can't you just, like size it down? I was like, because there's no pixels left. That's the end of the pixels. I can't size it down. What isn't pixel art? What resolution does it? That's a great question. And a lot, I read somewhere people were leaning towards when sprite sizes get larger than 64 by 64. But you're right, just the name is confusing. And you see that come up a lot in pixel art communities. I mean, because then people are also like, what about is pixel art whenever, because they have all these software that will do it too. Is that still pixel art? I don't know. I'm not pixel art police. I don't get to decide. But if you're on pixel art subreddit, they have categories and things like that and how they define it. Off the time, why? Oh, no 4. Every time, yeah. I make the same mistakes over and over again. And some things I just, yeah, it's just how it works. I accept it. I think I'm actually going to change this here. Wait. Ah, okay. This is where the game starts, and it's gonna be a like a residential neighborhood on an alien planet. The reason why the colors are dungeony right now is because colors are hard. Colors are hard. That's the only way to put it. And if I was working with an actual palette, like actual colors, I'd be losing a lot of time flipping between colors, which really need to be held towards the end part, because again, since we're making an older game, or making a game for an older system, we have different restrictions, and one of those restrictions is a color palette. So I can only have so many colors in the game. So it's kind of better to go in at the end, or towards the end, and add colors then. Because if I do it now, I start locking myself in. So it's easier just to work in Grayscale and then fill that in later once I start getting more art done. Yep. System limitation. Well, yeah, system limitation, but and how we're making it. It's just a decision. It's a decision that we made. I like to say we, but some of these decisions are Sean. I mean, I did get a vote. So when he was building something, he asked me if I would be good with doing, well, one of the restrictions is I can't have more than 16 colors in an 8x8, no, 7x8 square or 7x8 tile. Like, I can, that's fine, I can do that. But why the actual restriction is outside of just saying it's for the GBA, I do not know. Sometimes he's here in these chats and he'll say why. And he says all the complicated math things. I always like it when there's a little bit of a ground behind the player, so it doesn't look like they're just standing straight. Like Mario stands, well, Mario 3 and things like that, he's always directly on top of the ground. There's not really ground behind him. I like to look when there's ground behind. He's doing this one in C. The last one he did in ARM assembly. So and the reason for that is that he wanted to be able to have more control over the sound engine and the sound, because the GBA doesn't sound great. So we are using that same sound engine in an assembler, but this time he's coding everything in C. If you are a coding individual, if you look on our videos, there's a short that he did on Super Mario 3. I think collider logic or just mechanics, and you can get, there's a link to his GitHub, and he's got all sorts of helpful things on there. But you don't have to use C for GBA. There's other, Good Boy Galaxy was made in something odd, I can't remember. Sean, if you look on our itch page, the games that we made for the GB Jam, the Game Boy inspired game jam, those are made in JavaScript, and you can open those up and look through them. Yeah, he learned assembly for that game to make that game. And he like printed out this big manual. Let's do... like that, but I think I'm gonna do a darker color. I don't code. I tried learning for a little bit. Sean was trying to teach me. I was like, man, if I'm gonna spend this time learning language, I'm gonna learn Spanish. I learned basic when I was like elementary school. That counts for anything. I think this actually should be one of the darker colors, but I'll fix it later. So one of the reasons why we're sharing all of this, you know, even the stuff that's not super exciting, is to really see how many hours we put into this game, and also show like how much work these are, man. It's a lot of work to make a game. I think sometimes, you know, people put a lot of effort in the game and then, you know, you don't really get a lot of people to play it because there's a lot of games out there and people feel very defeated. But like, just finishing a game is a win. Like that right there is a huge accomplishment, and we shouldn't, you know, base our success off of how many people actually play it, because you know, that's a whole other beast, man. Like anybody who finishes a game, I don't know, they should have a special hat or something that they get to wear out and about, so everybody knows. Why are you doing? That was weird. I think I actually changed this to. So this will be the first game that I'll make with an A sprite that's been updated within like 5 years. So I could use all the cool tile set stuff that they have now. I think my goal for today is going to get like the basic outline of where the platforms are and the general structure of this building or neighborhood. All right. No blank spots, I know it. Yeah. BonCon. Hello. What kind of game is it? It is going to be a platformer for the GBA with a focus on exploration. That's how far we are. Sean's got a lot done though. He's got the mechanics for the overworld done, all the physics for the actual levels. Even has like a little system for the narrators now, for like when a character talks, a little image pops up. And right now I'm using Sprite to design our first level. Damn it, man. Every time, y'all. Why? Where is it? Oh, I know where it is. It's at the floor. It's here. Why are you doing that to me, man? Oh, it's because it's here. I don't know. Jesus, why? There. There we go. Create game. We are making a game. Yes. Yes. Here, if you go to that's us. That's who we are. And those are the games we've made. All right. Organic building that was grown. That's what I'm making. So imagine, I don't want to... Like, I don't know if you've ever heard, like, they're making houses now, or one of the things they're making bricks out of mycelium, you know, which is mushrooms, what makes mushrooms. And so I've been kind of imagining that like, this is a mycelium grown house. But I don't want to make it look like mushrooms or have caps all over it because that's just very, you know, it's been done a lot. Thanks. I'm pretty proud of us. Ooh, I just had an idea for these two. I'm gonna create something underneath that makes them look more like they're growing out from this structure. Mm-hmm. All right, so these walls, what's kind of interesting is the idea is that, we're seeing both outside and inside at the same time. So I'm seeing the inside of, these walls. All right, I'll think about it. And right now I'm just gonna, I know I want it to be like a rounded shape. You know what? Let's do. I was just thinking it's amazing how much effort it takes just to get this to the point where you can like draw on it and start making it stuff. Like I'm still just getting outlines of things. Like this is where the floor is. This is where the walls are. Which will be the goal of today. It just hit me. I'm not showing the music. And I like this person. There we go. Almost. Horizontal's last. Oh, one more. Oh, you're doing. I said I want these to keep going up to kind of give, I don't know, it's platformer, vertical levels. You can go up, even though you can't go higher than what you see on the screen right now on this particular level. Things could change. So this is a little bit better idea of like what the player will see at once. Do, 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 do. I love our little robot. Do, 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 do. All right. Why? There we go. Yeah, that's a little better. Alright, so that's where we're gonna stop for now. Like, 2 hours is a good time to spend on something before I start backpedaling, overthinking things. Alright, so yeah, next time I come, I'll start filling in more details, refining things, but this is like, I think the general gist of where I'm gonna go for now. And then, yeah, in our Discord group, I'll drop the little reference images I'm using, kind of like as inspiration. Alright, well, thanks for everyone who came out and said hi. Y'all have an awesome day.